Alexander on the drive, pulls back, baseline, jumper's good. OKC with their first lead of the second half. Williams has been hot all night, falling away, got it. 40 points for Jalen Williams. 28 remaining, Holmgren down the lane. A Holmgren hammer, and it's back up to a dozen.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Uncontested Weekly Show, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and proudly sponsored by Prairie Artisan Ales. I'm your host on this Thursday evening, JD Silva, joined by my guy, Tay.
Thought you weren't going to unmute me there for a second.
No.
I was about to go and click it. Silva, glad that you are 100% back to yourself.
Yes.
You have defeated the Lou Flu.
I have defeated the Lou Flu.
Comes from everyone.
The Luhan came for me.
Quite literally.
Vanquished it. Feeling good. Thunder got me feeling pretty damn good, dude.
Yeah.
It's just hard to
domination.
It's like every time a game is on, I just know I can relax for.
It is. It's a very
hours.
different feeling in comparison to last year, where each game you didn't really know what to expect. You just were excited.
Yeah.
This season, it's just like, in what way are they going to dominate now? Right?
Yeah.
And
I've been making it's like a, usually if you want to relax at night, you like make some tea, maybe read a book, watch a movie. I've been making tea and watching the damn Thunder, dude. It's so relaxing.
You're putting on Thunder defensive highlights and going to bed.
It's so nice. We're going to talk about last night's game against the Kings. They've played the Kings 20 times this season, actually. We're going to break down the most recent iteration of that series. Then we're going to go through a mailbag. You guys sent us plenty of questions, some mostly basketball, some non-basketball. We had one enemy infiltrate behind our lines. It was a Lakers fan that asked us a question too. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. Before we get started, though, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating if you haven't done so already. You can find us on Twitter, YouTube, etc. You can also check out our Patreon by clicking the link in the description of this podcast or by scanning the QR code above my head over here.
You nailed it.
Hey. Oh, that's a good view of your dog back there, Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Rumble.
Hey, Rumble.
Say hi to everybody.
Yep. All right. Let's crack this one open. The Thunder.
Hey, speaking of cracking stuff open.
Do you have
Shout out to, I don't have one with me right now, unfortunately. But shout out our sponsors over at Prairie Ales.
Yes.
Prairie Artisan Ales. Go check out the tap room downtown OKC. Perfect spot to go and watch a game if you're not going, but around the area. They have all kinds of new beers on tap. Silva, you and I and Justin and Nick were talking about all these Skittle ones that they've come out with for their anniversary.
We're planning like a little fellas night there at some point soon.
Yeah.
It's been a while. We haven't been there since. We were there like all the time during the playoffs, and then we took our summer to unwind a little bit, and we're about to be back in Prairie. I'm sure we'll get a watch party planned at some point as well.
For sure.
Yeah, we love hanging out there. Love the beer as well. Holiday stuff coming out. I've become more of a stout guy, I've realized.
Interesting.
I started to really like Guinness, and then now I'm like, I want to try some
Prairie Bombs.
I want to try some Prairie Stouts.
Yeah, there you
go. See if I like it. The older I get, the darker the beer I enjoy, I've realized. Funny how that works. All right. Basketball. Basketball. The Thunder move on to 15-1.
15-1.
15-1. They beat the Kings 113-99. This was kind of a nasty game, Taylor. It was a grind. It was a comfortable win, but yeah, grind is a great way to say it. The Thunder shot 10 of 38 from 3, 41 of 88 from the field, so sub 50%. It's a weird one. But fortunately, the Kings are so uniquely bad that it did not matter.
I was talking about this with a coworker today, and we were just talking about the Thunder and stuff, and he brought up the Kings. He was like, they played the Kings last night, right? Because he didn't get to watch. And he was like, there's obviously worse teams in the NBA this season, but I'm not sure there's any more poorly constructed teams than the Sacramento Kings. And I think that is so spot on.
It is.
Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, all on the same team.
So weird.
You have Sabonis, who continues to get hurt and apparently wants out of there. Just kind of a mess in Sacramento yet again. They had their like 1.5 seasons of glory, and it's been downhill ever since.
They've fallen so far from like the light the beam season.
That was so fun.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, shipped him off. They had De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. It's strange.
It's just bad.
I was listening to the Ball podcast, which is one of the national podcasts I listen to, probably my favorite one right now. And they mentioned that the Kings are a weird bad team because usually bad teams are young, but they're the odd, really old, really bad team. Like that's tough to do.
Dare I say you could put the Los Angeles Clippers in that category as well this season.
Yeah, this season.
Talk about them later.
Yeah, we will talk about this today. It's been a weird season.
Something else I was talking about, another coworker walked up and we're talking about the Thunder, and he watched last night, and we were just talking about this Thunder team, how kind of like you mentioned, Silva, last night obviously was a grind, but it just felt like the Thunder kind of knew almost that they could coast. I mean, I know their mentality, they talk so much about it. They're motivated, but I don't know. Like you said, they just weren't playing their brand of basketball. Some uncharacteristic turnovers from the Thunder.
A little sloppy.
Joe had some, Shea had some, just missing wide open shots, like you said. And on the defensive side, that's what really kind of stood out. Yet again, they have another solid stretch in the second half that allowed them to kind of put the pedal down to the floor and get ahead and kind of maintain that lead in the second half. But it wasn't consistent like we're accustomed to. But the craziest part about all of it that we were talking about at work is like it just doesn't matter. This team is so talented, so good, continue to be shorthanded, but they just gel so well. It's literally plug and play, regardless of the lineups or who's in there, whether it's Jay Will and Carlson. And we can talk about Jay Will, who continues to really struggle this season.
Yeah.
Or it's the double big and Chet and Ihart, or it's Mark deciding, hey, this has been really sluggish. We need a spark to start the second half. So we're sitting Ihart and starting Caruso. It doesn't matter, right? All of them have their own strengths and advantages and weaknesses, right? But as a whole, they play a very similar brand of basketball. That's just so hard to stop, especially when you're led by guys like Chet and Shea and Ihart's making and Chet have been so much better to say. I mean, there's so many different ways we can go with this, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's just a very fun and dominant team.
Yeah, and nights like last night, they can rely on their stars to carry them offensively a bit, because although the team shot poorly, Chet and SGA did not. Chet finished with another awesome Chet game, 10 of 15 from the field, 3 blocks, 7 rebounds, ended up with 21 points. It's weird. ESPN changed the layout of their box score.
Zach Lowe's been talking about that.
It's throwing me off a little bit. SGA was 12 of 24, 33 points. Did end up playing in the fourth quarter.
He played a fourth quarter.
It's a shock these days. Lou Dort popped off first. We know this is going to happen with Lou. He'll shoot total shit for weeks on end. It feels like, and then he'll come out and hit 4 threes like he did last night.
Yep. No, I think you're spot on. Speaking of Chet, just almost feel like he's gone a little under the radar this season because the Thunder have been so dominant. There's been all the talk about J-Dub being out and them still being dominant. AJ Mitchell's made it, had his emergence this season. It's taken another leap. Even Ihart, it's been apparent, he's raised his game to a new level, and Chet's just there looking more aggressive, looking healthy. And it's easy to kind of just chalk that up as, Chet has his legs back under him. He had a healthy offseason and he's playing well. He's playing so much more efficient. And Mark's talked a lot about this in the post-game, Silva, but he's playing within the flow of the offense and still getting his aggression, attacking the rim. Now, 3 straight games, 20-plus points for Chet. And, Rumble's a licker. He just, it's crazy. Before he goes to bed, has to lick everything. Yeah, the listeners listening on podcast form, not watching the YouTube, Rumble is
what the dog doing?
Yeah, perfect timing. But Chet, his 3rd straight 20-plus game, and he's been incredibly efficient. I think it was Nick Gallo who tweeted this out here 2 games ago. It's Chet and Jokic as the only, I think, 2, I'm going to butcher this, but the only 2 bigs flirting basically with 50, 40, 90 and averaging more than 18 plus points a game, something insane like that. He's been incredible. If you get this level of Chet, watch out.
Yeah, he's been amazing. The handle looks really good. Took several guys off the dribble last night. Drew Eubanks just didn't stand a chance.
Oh my gosh, that dunk!
That dunk was awesome. He just looks. The first week of the season, he fell on his back and he had that back sprain. And that kind of lingered for a little bit because he fell on his back again, like as he was working his way back. And I was just thinking, like, man, he's already hurt again. When's he going to be able to turn the page and really be healthy? And he turned the page, like, as soon as I made that comment in our uncontested fellas chat. So good for Chet. He looks healthy. This is exactly how he looked at the beginning of last year. That was so good. He's feeling good when he's getting to that mid-range and it's going in and he's taking guys off the dribble. It's amazing. It's a hell of a luxury. And like you said, he doesn't need to get that many shots. Like he took 15 last night. I think he could maintain that when J-Dub gets back.
No, I agree completely.
For sure.
It does make you wonder, like, if he were on a lesser team, if you want to call it that, and he's being featured more offensively, like what he would be doing right now. But at the same time, how many blocks did he have last night? He had 3 blocks. Felt like he had 5. He had so many great defensive plays, deflections. Him and Ihart's chemistry continues to grow. That kind of leads me to maybe one of my last points here, because honestly, so the bench didn't play very well. AJ kind of struggled, which is good. He's going through a little bit of growing pains. When he's on the scouting report, he talks to him about that. Like, I'm not concerned. Honestly, if he would have been hitting his shots, like, we'd be talking about how great of an AJ game it was. But the last thing that really stands out to me is Ihart. We've been talking about him, how much he's improved, how much more aggressive he's being when it comes to scoring in the paint. He still has his go-to floater, right? He's being stronger, going to the basket, obviously attacking the boards and the rebounds. But the thing with Ihart that stood out to me the most so far this season is he's become a better rim protector. He was always a good paint defender, but that's different than being an actual rim protector.
Yeah.
And he's
getting the counting stats
there. Right. Exactly. And that improvement, like, you can absolutely tell now, 16 games into the season, and seeing Chet and Ihart both improve individually and their chemistry on the court, that they worked out together this offseason, like those videos we saw.
Yeah. Continuity is so
underrated. It made
underrated.
both of them better. Yeah, absolutely.
Continuity is so underrated. Not a ton to talk about with this game. Any other big thoughts, or do you want to move on to the mailbag? Crack that bad boy open.
Yeah.
I guess I have something too. I just kind of cut my own point off, but I love that Chet is as confident as he is as a scorer, because I was scrolling Twitter late last night as the Cavs lost a big game to, who did they lose to? I'll have to look and see.
I can't remember now, but I remember
a contender. I think it was like Detroit or the Knicks or someone like that. And it was like a big game for the Cavs, who have had not the best season so far. And Cleveland fans are calling Evan Mobley Mr. 18-8 because he just, like, can't do anything more than that. Like, he's never broken the offensive dam. Like, he's never figured it out entirely.
He hasn't been able to add like a
no bag.
jumper. Exactly. It's all just playing
the
down
easy
low
stuff. So they're calling him Mr. 18-8.
18-8.
And just saying,
I love
he hasn't improved. And they're like, look at what Jalen Duren is doing. And why can't our guy do this? So it's nice to know that. I've always thought Chet was better than him. I remember seeing, like, their rookie year, or Chet's rookie year, them dueling, and it's, like, so clear that Mobley's just not that guy.
He's not versatile. Exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm grateful for Chet.
Great defender, but yeah, no, I agree completely. Only other thing, Silva, I'm going to be honest, seeing all the J-Dub hype and him tweeting stuff out about his return, and him and JoJo teasing it on Instagram and stuff. I really thought we might see him. Smooth. Really thought we might see him tomorrow night against the Jazz. That is NBA Cup game at home. Cody, his brother's coming into town. Obviously, his parents will be in attendance. I was like, that's the game they have scheduled. Unfortunately, J-Dub is listed as out yet again. So very likely no J-Dub tomorrow night.
Which is unfortunate. Oh, what are your thoughts on the court and the jerseys? I love them.
So sick. So sick. That court was amazing. The jerseys looked great on the players, even with the white accessories. I wish they would do like a teal or an orange accessory. They haven't done that for years now, really ever since Thunder 2.0. But yeah, they looked great. One of my favorite jerseys of all time.
There's a little movement of people wanting this to be the Thunder's primary uniform and look, and I'm a part of that movement, baby.
Oh yeah, hey!
So
special
nice.
Shout out to co-host of the podcast, Justin, OKC Tracker. Years ago, he went through and actually designed and did some mocks of what that would actually look like for a home
like
and away
statement.
What
it looked like, how it looked.
Right.
That was from 2018. I saw
Crazy.
from Justin. Shout out to that
Crazy.
guy. What a talent. What a hell of a player.
Hell of a player. Shout out Dennis Schroeder, who had a pretty good game last night.
Yeah. Hell of a player. All right. Mailbag time, I think.
Mailbag time.
Do you want to start?
We haven't done a mailbag in a while.
We haven't. Do you want to start with the Discord or Twitter?
It doesn't matter, but let's alternate and just kind of go back and forth.
I'll open up the Discord. Oh boy, there are more comments. There are more comments now. Shout out to our Discord, by the way. You can access the Discord through our Patreon. I don't think I mentioned that at the top of the show. You get some
you did.
You
pointed up to the QR code.
Okay, good. Yes.
Which I also correctly pointed to this time. Man.
You get let's see. Da. Okay, question from Wyatt in the Discord. And if I skip your Discord question, it's not because I don't think it's a good question. It just might not.
Sucked.
It might be too hard for us to do in the moment, or it might not match like the vibe of the show right now. But we will pick up Discord questions we may have missed in the next Patreon episode we do.
Yep.
Question from Wyatt in the Discord. This will be good to warm us up a little bit. What's your favorite NBA player that is not an OKC player or former OKC player?
That's pretty tough. I'm trying
I
to
had
think.
several going. I can go while I can talk my mind. I had several. 2 to 3 players I remember getting me into the NBA, and weirdly they were not Thunder players because I didn't have any Thunder fans in my life when I was really young, like 12, 13, 14.
Wait, are we talking Thunder players or just
we're talking non-Thunder players.
Not Thunder. Are we talking current players or just in general?
Could be current, could be in general.
Oh, I've got lots of players.
Yeah, Reggie Miller.
That's fun.
The clip. My dad showed me the clip of him scoring the 9 points in 8 seconds, 8 points in 9 seconds against the Knicks, and that clip is like, oh, maybe I do love basketball. And then I started watching Ray Allen highlights for when he was on the Celtics, and I just loved the way it looked when he shot. And then I started to watch ESPN and SportsCenter, and I started to see rookie year Derrick Rose highlights. And I was like, oh God, I like the NBA, and I like Derrick Rose. And then it just kind of built from there. I watched him tear his ACL in that playoff series against the Sixers. Yep. And then I kind of fell into Thunder fandom beyond that. It's like, okay, I should probably watch my home team.
My local team.
And that was like 2011, 2012.
Oh,
I would have been watching the Thunder a bit back then, but that's when I was really starting to lock in, and playing 2K is how I kind of learned everything.
Team. That's fair. Oh, I was there for game 1 in 2008. Like,
yep.
Was following the Hornets when they were here. And OKC, but if we're talking like former players, I easily have 3. First one, I'll go least order. I'll go like lowest to highest on my list. Lowest, but still a player that I loved, was Toronto Chris Bosh. And the reasoning behind that is because I went to my first NBA game ever with my dad and my brother at the time, who was like really young, because we were in Dallas for my sister's cheer competition, and us boys obviously were like, we've got to get out of here. And so my dad's looking, and we found tickets to the Mavs game. Funny enough, and they're playing the Raptors. Funny enough, our tickets were like all the way up at the very top of like their equivalent of Wild City. Like I remember sitting on like the back of like some like basically a wall. We're like at the very top, but then at the end of the game, we were able to go down and watch up close. We just kind of moved up.
Yeah.
And I still vividly remember Chris Bosh having a baseline. I can't remember if somebody passed it to him and he was cutting off ball, or if he just drove baseline, but he drives baseline. This is like pre-heat Chris Bosh.
This is the Dreads headband.
Dreads headband, high flyer.
Yeah.
He cocks this ball all the way down to his ankles. One-handed monster windmill slam. This game goes into overtime. Like, it was a blast. Yeah. So Chris Bosh was there. Number 2. It's a reason if you see 15 and all my different stuff. I picked 15 as a kid, stuck with it all the way until today. My sister and my brother both use 15 in sports, to the point that like my mom uses it for different things too. Like 15's become like a family thing for us. That all started because as I was getting into basketball and was old enough to really understand who the players were and stuff, we're talking like 3rd grade at this point, Silva. I opened up my first pack of basketball cards and got a number 15 Vince Carter.
That's what I was going to guess. I was like, I think he was 15.
To watching Vince and his dunks and seeing honey dipper, yeah, I think that's what they call it. The honey dipper. Is that what he called it?
Honey
The dunk he
something.
had, and a UNC, like
Yeah.
just fell in love with that. So pick 15, stuck with
Mhm.
15. That's number 2. My favorite non-Thunder player of all time, Allen Iverson. I loved AI.
That's a good pick.
I had
Yeah.
the fat head up on my
Yeah.
wall.
Yep.
I had the AI jersey. I dressed up as AI for Halloween one year.
That's awesome.
AI was my Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook. And in
Yeah.
hindsight, it
They're
makes a lot of sense
similar.
because they're very similar personas and how they
Yeah.
approach the game, even if the styles were a little different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Dame Lillard was another big guy for me, like in terms of a modern player, a modern non-OKC player. And I
That's a
know a
good
lot of OKC fans like hate him because of that shot, but I was starting to get into the draft. I remember him getting drafted, and I was like, I think I like this guy, and he was good immediately. And that was just that also helped me lock in. But good question from Wyatt in the Discord. Next question from our guy POW Ranger in the Discord. They say, what has to be done to keep iHeart? He's too good. I cannot imagine this team without him.
He's been incredible. We've talked about the leap he's made for sure. We've kind of talked a little bit about this, Silva. We talked about it here a couple weeks ago on our normal pod, and then we continued the conversation afterwards in our Patreon podcast. But what would have to happen for the Thunder to keep him basically would be they'd have to decide not to pick up options or extensions or sign players to new contracts such as Lou Dort and make other moves as well.
Maybe Caruso.
Potentially.
You'd be saying goodbye to some players that you probably love to keep iHeart. I think that's the kind of the takeaway.
Right.
I was explaining this to my partner last night, and 2 nights ago, last night, she was like, I don't want to see anybody leave. I love this team too much. And I'm like, yeah, me too. But that is going to be the reality. Chet and J-Dub are so good that they get paid the amount of money they're deserved, and you can't.
Well, Shea's already been paid that amount, right?
You can't keep everybody, but
Case and Wallace is incredible. You're going to want to keep him.
Yeah, iHeart seems too good to let go. That's a Presti thing, That's
100%.
I'm going to let him handle it.
That's why it's so important to be able to draft the AJ Mitchells, the Aaron Wiggins, players of those natures who are able to get the Nikola Topic. We'll see what he'll eventually look like. But being able to bring them in and for them to develop and emerge to the point that AJ Mitchell's like closing games with the starters, depending on the opponent and the situation, like that's using these picks to be able to bring those types of players in and continue to develop them. That's why that's so important.
Yep. All right. Let's throw in a fun one really quick. Maybe a rapid fire on this one from our guy, Jay Bud. What is the first thing you grab at a Thanksgiving dinner?
Ooh. I mean, I almost always go for like the protein, turkey or ham.
Yeah. I think I'm probably with you. A deviled egg has become pretty valuable for me.
I hate deviled eggs, and that's such a hot take. Everybody I tell that to, my girlfriend's like, what? Yeah.
I do kind of go for those. So
I do have like a kind of
like a weird casserole, or like a weird. If there's like a non-traditional casserole, I'll go for that also just to see what's up.
Yeah. So my second, like outside the protein, would be family tradition. My great grandma started it, passed down to my grandma and my mom. But like we still make gravy. We still have our gravy for the turkey mashed potatoes. But typically for Thanksgiving and Christmas, our gravy and it's like a side dish too. It's like homemade noodles essentially. Like think of like kind of like a chicken noodle and soup with like the egg noodles, but without the other stuff. It's awesome. It's basically like a gravy with the noodles in it. It's incredible. That's always my second go-to.
It's Thanksgiving not far away. I got a Friendsgiving this weekend, and then actual Thanksgiving the next.
A week from today, actually, Scylla.
Yep. What's next? You would know more about this than me. This is from Boy Como Va. I don't know if that's how to pronounce your name. I did my best. He says, if the Clippers pick does in fact hit, let's say it's number 4, is it worth going all in to move up a couple spots and get Peterson or DeBansa?
It's absolutely worth it. The Thunder do have the draft ammo. It would be required to do so, obviously. The thing is, though, when you get into these kind of drafts with this kind of talent at the top of the draft, whether it's a player like Cooper Flagg at number 1, or it's a draft like this where you have 3 guys right now maybe 4 guys that you could consider to be that tier of a player. Like Wembanyama is another example. No matter how many draft picks, you can throw all the draft picks in the world at a team, they aren't going to trade out of that spot.
No.
So because of that, it could be very difficult, depending on the team, the situation, to be able to consolidate picks and move up, regardless of how great your picks are or how many you have. That being said, if you're picking around the 4th, but yes, it's absolutely worth trading up and getting one of DeBonsa, Peterson, even Cam Boozer, who I think actually could fall. He's kind of struggled so far with I shouldn't say struggle. I mean, he's putting up stats, but there's been some other guys that have kind of popped.
Caleb Wilson's also been
awesome out of North Carolina. He's just doubled. He's kind of what I think we expected to see from a stat standpoint from Cam at Duke, and Caleb Wilson's doing that. He's been incredible. Koa Pete out of Arizona had a huge debut for Arizona. That first game looked incredible, and he's continued to put up really solid numbers. The thing with him is he's got to work on some outside shooting and some touch in the mid-range, but he's such a strong, powerful athlete, has a good handle, can pass the ball, play really good defense. He's absolutely somebody that would fit the Thunder's mold. Trying to think who else. There's some other guys, but I think they kind of fall out of that range. You kind of get into another tier. Like there's a couple freshmen out of Houston that are really solid. Chris Sinek Jr. They have a point guard that's been playing really, really well. The Thunder don't need another guard. That's the thing. You have guys like Michael Brown Jr. out of Louisville, who tore it up for Team USA this past summer. And it's playing really well for Louisville, but it just doesn't make sense to bring that kind of player in. Darren Peterson's a kind of talent. It doesn't matter. You make that room for that to happen.
Yeah.
And he's so much more versatile as well. He's a great playmaker. He can defend. He needs to improve in that regard, but he's just an automatic bucket getter. But again, all that being said, Cam Boozer would fit really well as well. Like you think about an iHeart replacement, maybe you don't actually replace iHeart. You just find another like kind of forward big combo like the Boozers, the Caleb Wilsons that we're talking about that can play alongside Chet.
A physical presence.
Right.
Cam Boozer would be insane.
But there's so many fun names to get into. I think I disagree with a lot of people who have said, even some national analysts who have said this draft isn't, there's a lot of questions after the top, however many 4 or 5. Like, I think this is a very deep class. I think there's a lot of guys at the bottom of some of these mocks and big boards that are going to emerge and going to be lottery picks. So really excited to get to break that down with our good friend Nick on some Patreon pods and stuff coming up.
Those are always fun to listen to. You guys tear it up on there. All right.
We'll just nerd out.
Yeah. We're going to move to some Twitter questions now. We got one from Donnie Hazelwood, our guy who's in the chat right now, actually. He asks, you can choose one in this hypothetical. You can win the next 3 championships in a row, but then have to tank and rebuild after. Or you can be super competitive for the next decade, win 1 more championship for sure, but nothing guaranteed other than that.
It's good. It's a really good question. And he actually was like, talk to me about this one. And his reasoning behind this is like, look, obviously 3 guaranteed championships, but the alternative is like you have more optionality and maybe you're able to, in the second hypothetical, you're able to extend this even longer. So instead of the next, 3 championships and it's a rebuild, we're talking about the next decade plus and continuing to contend for championships. My answer, though, was that you take another 3 guaranteed championships because that puts this Thunder team up there with, if not the best team in NBA history. I don't think that's an exaggeration.
So would that be 4 in a row?
That'd be 4. Yes. Yeah, that'd be 4 in a row.
Yeah.
That would put Shea up there as a top 10, 15 player of all time already. Yeah. J-Dub and Chet, obviously, that would cement them as incredible players. And I think that would mean that you're also continuing to supplement this team over the next 3 years. You've been able to avoid the harsh implications of the new CBA. Presti's continuing to build this team out. But I guess in this hypothetical, Donnie says you have to tank and rebuild after.
Yeah.
I still would take the first one.
Yeah, you're making a deal with the devil in this case. And you win the 3. Yeah. You win the 3. The bill came due. All right. That's a fun one. I thought about it pretty hard too. You kind of have to accept the championships because that's just like never guaranteed. All right, next one from our guy Skeletor, aka David Skelton. David, are you here? You here with us tonight? David asks, who would really win in a 1v1 last man standing game of ball between the hosts, Who's the first one knocked out? Who's the final two, and who wins it all?
That's tough. But I would probably say it's in between Justin and Nick. Justin, because he's just so big and tall,
Yeah,
that he could just block our shots and just bully us down low in the post and get easy buckets.
Yep.
Nick, because he's probably the best scorer of all of us.
Yeah,
so one of them would probably be the winner.
I agree. There's a chance I'm the first one out. Whenever I play basketball, I'm either really hot or I cannot hit anything. Like I did beat our guy Jacob one-on-one when we played a couple months ago.
That is
but
true.
He was also just kind of letting me shoot. And unfortunately for him, I was hitting
you were
everything.
Hitting everything. That's fair.
So who the hell knows? I would nominate myself for potentially first one.
It'd be Sylvan and I for sure.
Yeah,
Jacob plays more frequently. He's a good ball handler. He's a really good passer. That wouldn't be applicable here. It'd be you or I. Neither of us have played very frequently.
Jacob's like the glue guy that you want.
Definitely.
To keep it
and 5-on-5. Yep.
Yep. That's a fun question. All right. Let's see. We have one from Henry Agarit on Twitter. They say the Thunder just completed their three-peat. God, we're a spoiled fan base. Would you rather A, Shea wins Finals MVP all 3 times, or B, each of the big 3 take turns, meaning SGA gets one, Chet gets one, J-Dub gets one?
Probably C. I don't really care if we're winning 3.
Yeah, we're winning.
If I have to pick one, I mean, Dub's probably I think I've said this over the past 2 years now. Dub's probably my favorite player on the team, but I still would pick A because I love Shea so much. And like I said, that would catapult him into all-time great category. And to have a player like that play for OKC alongside obviously KD and Russ, who have played here in the past, even James Harden in the time that he was here, to have a player like Shea surpass all of them, to be on that all-time great list and to say that he wore a Thunder jersey through his prime, I think that's just really special for an organization.
Can you imagine the Twitter narratives I would win if SGA
got that too.
Finals MVP 3 times?
That's a good point.
It's so good. Yeah, I'd probably go SGA. Just because the other guys are still going to get their glory, you know, they're still going to have their big moments and things like that, and all-star games, all-NBA teams. But ultimately, Shea is the guy. All right. Next one from L.A. Walker at Walker Thunder on Twitter. How many draft picks do we think we will actually keep in this year's draft? I'm leaning towards keeping 1, trading the rest further out, depending on where they land. Not sure OKC has the room to find minutes for 3 more players next season, unless the two-way guys don't play with them. I have some thoughts on that. They're not just going to be. I don't think they're going to draft 3 players. I kind of agree that they're going to draft probably 1 to 2 players. I would lean more towards 1 that they really like. They could draft some later on. We'll have to see where the picks fall. But they're going to be bringing back also Sorber next year. Also Topic next year, we assume, hoping he's healthy. So yeah, it is kind of you have to package some of these and move them into the future, move them into 28, 29, that range.
Absolutely. And like the earlier question we got, when you have that kind of draft ammo in a class like this, it's very easy to consolidate those picks and move up, not into the top echelon of picks like I talked about, right? But I could see them trading some of like their later first to try and move back up right outside the lottery to select a second player, because that opportunity only presents itself so much. And if there is a player on the board that Presti thinks very highly of, think of like a player he valued like J-Dub and that draft, and being able to get a player like that at that range. Presti's always going to take that opportunity regardless of what the roster crunch looks like. So I could see them coming away with 2 first-round picks. But you also have to think too, like Ousmane Dieng. Some of the two-way guys, Silva, you nailed it. Presti's not going to not take players just because he has a roster crunch. He's going to find the way to make room. And if it results in a player like a Topic or a Sorber, like
Brooks,
Barnhizer, like
we saw him move off of Dylan Jones after a year.
Absolutely. He'll find a right spot for him, like he did with Dylan, right? But I could see him coming away with more than one first round pick.
It is insane we're even having that discussion as a team that's 15-1, and it's just unreal.
Yep,
it is unreal. All right, Next question from Ledon Reeves with a profile picture of LeBron James. They say,
what is he, like 12?
Probably. His bio is #BraunFC, #ReevesSC, #Luca FC. Why are
Does
you
he know
so
what FC stands for?
I don't know.
Football club?
Why are you so obsessed with Luca? Yes. And to that I say, Luca has been mostly irrelevant as a real competitor versus the Thunder since he left the Mavericks. When he was playing for the Mavericks in those teams, I did view him as a threat, as someone we would have to worry about in a playoff series. But that Magic
fan club, fair enough.
A fan club.
Every time I see FC, though, especially
think
in
of the
bios,
soccer team.
it's football club. Yeah.
Let's go Chelsea. But anyway, he's just not that irrelevant. Not that relevant to me anymore. And people are still having those arguments all the time. I am unfortunately seeing Twitter and social media shows you the most polarizing comments and posts at all times. So I will either see a Lakers stan account saying people really think SGA belongs in the conversation with Luka, or I'll see a Thunder fan stan account saying people really think Luka belongs or SGA belongs in these discussions. The same mirrored message. I just don't really care anymore. I think I've decided. I don't care. SGA has all the accomplishments that he could want at this point in the debate. Luka's not on a serious team. Sorry, Lakers fans, if you're listening, the Lakers are not serious to me. That's all I got.
Yeah. And again, Thunder fans had to sit through a whole year of Shai's not an ethical basketball player. He doesn't deserve the MVP. All he does is shoot free throws, which we all know is incredibly false. Yeah. And he still kind of has that narrative, even though this season he's taken way fewer free throws for the first 16 games of the season. Meanwhile, Luka's averaging more free throws than Shai did last season. So that's why Nick has been on there doing that, making the points. But also, LaDon Reeves is to bait people like you and give us engagement, because we are a podcast after
It's
all.
an unwinnable argument, because even if you show them that Luka's averaging more free throws and that Austin Reeves is averaging more free throws, they'll just say, and not they do say, well, they're earning those free throws. SGA is just a flopper if you watch him at all. It's like there's no winning.
Meanwhile, Luka still hasn't gotten back on defense because he's whining to the ref that he didn't get a call.
We're in a day and age where people's minds are made up, and you cannot change them. It's just better to not engage with that.
Very true.
Winning is good. Being 15-1 is what matters. You'll like this one from our guy Chuck. What?
Bucks.
What were your thoughts on the J. Will, Brandon Carlson double big minutes from the Kings game yesterday? Is that something we could be seeing more of?
I mean, it wasn't horrific. It wasn't great, mainly because I love J. Will. I love him a lot. He had some really good moments last season. Had some moments in the playoffs as well, even. That being said, he's been pretty horrific the first 16 games of the regular season this year. That doesn't mean he's going to continue to be. He'll still have his moments. But when this team is fully healthy, like I see fewer and fewer minutes for J. Will. Once we get to the series part of the season, once we get into the playoffs, obviously Mark's going to rotate through guys. We know this. Try and keep fresh legs even when fully healthy. Because of that, I didn't love it because J. Will's struggling.
He is.
That being said, he's on to something, because one thing that we've seen so much of this season is very, very few minutes. I don't have the stats pulled up in front of me, but very few minutes as Chet as a solo big. You either have, and very few like solo big lineups. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago as well, where even when Hart and Chet are off the floor, or one of them's on, you bring in a J. Will with Chet, or you bring in a J. Will with Hart. You kind of stagger those two, and he almost always has two bigs on the court at all times. Here recently is when we've seen a little more single big lineups, but the Brandon Carlson, J. Will, that wasn't the first time they played together. I believe we saw that here a week ago as well. So wasn't a huge fan of it, but also Mark's very intentionally trying to get some data, and the coaching staff's trying to get some data when it comes to double big lineups. Yeah.
J. Will is he is a type of player where you can tell how good he did on a given night based on his 3-point percentage. He is that type of player, which is, we used to have that discussion about Giddey when he was here. Difference is the scope of the type of player they are it's okay for that to be Jay Will. Like, it's okay. You kind of know what you're getting with his defense. I'm a little more confused on that now after he slimmed down. Like, I'm not sure that's really
beneficial.
It feels like he's still been guarding the same type of guys. Like, I don't know if it hasn't really made him been able to guard. Like,
he doesn't seem much more quick,
no.
which I think is kind of the point of that, right? You want to be a little more quick and explosive. And again, like you said, he looks the same. He just has lost weight. But that could be partially why he's adjusting to a new shot as well, right? Like he's changed his body enough that there'll be an adjustment period. But still, even if he's making his shots, we got to see a little more from Jay Will.
Yep. I'm seeing what questions I have missed. Some of these we're gonna table. There was one from Thunder Chick that was fun. Thunder Chick in the Discord, and we can start winding the show down afterwards, and we're gonna do a little disgusting tankathon spin before we get out of here.
We're so back.
Thunder Chick in the Discord says, as optimistic as we all are, would the 15-1 start have been a hot take prediction before we got going this season? Like if we were in our bowl prediction segment or something like that preseason, if I had said they're starting 15-1, would I have been laughed at?
No, you wouldn't have been laughed at. I think we all would have been like, yeah, that's realistic. This team's good enough, but it's not the most likely scenario. I think it's kind of where we would have landed.
And they're comfortably 15-1. The one they lost was
quite honestly should be 16-0. Yeah,
should be 16-0. Yeah, I am ready for some competition just to see. Like, I want to see them be like last night. If they were playing against a better team last night, they could have lost that game, and they would have They would have had to lock in a little more.
Right. And like lineups are going to be a little different. Again, we thought the Lakers were going to be that. I know they weren't quite 100%. Obviously, no LeBron. Luka's just coming back from his, I can't remember if it was an injury or illness or whatever. And they just absolutely dog walk him.
Yeah.
So while you're pulling up Tankathon, I'll pull up the rest of the foreseeable schedule. Because I believe off the top of my head, it doesn't get a whole lot, quote unquote, more difficult.
No.
They have the Jazz Friday, the Blazers Sunday, the Timberwolves on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That'll be an interesting game, for sure.
I think the league is just not as good as I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of mediocre teams,
and the West, the top of it is as strong, if not stronger, than we thought. But the bottom of the West is a lot worse than we thought.
Yeah.
Warriors December 2nd. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But then the Mavs, Jazz, Clippers, Wolves, Grizzlies, Spurs, Sixers, Hawks. Like, there's a real world silver. And honestly, it's probably the more likely scenario where they entered the new year with single-digit losses.
That is so nasty. I mean,
that's pretty insane.
That's probably happening. That is probably happening.
Yep.
You guys don't look at the pork ads that keep showing up on the Tankathon site. Don't look at them. All right, we're gonna hit this spin real quick. I cannot believe this. The Clippers 4-11, the Jazz 5-9. Clippers are worse than we thought they'd be. The Jazz are better, and that is the exact scenario that would get us here. So let's do this.
That is true. Clippers just lost again tonight by a lot to the Magic.
In this scenario, for audio listeners, the Thunder would get the 8th pick from the Clippers and the 10th pick from the Jazz.
That's pretty good.
Isn't there a third? Isn't there a way they could get a third pick?
Yes. I'm trying to remember who it is.
Is it Philly?
Yes, it's Philly.
What is call? I wonder what that's. Oh, they're down here.
Yeah.
So right now
they'd also have the 18th pick.
8, 10, and 18.
Would. Gosh.
Yeah. Good
that's
Lord.
Stupid.
Good Lord. That's fun. Very fun. We're doing sick stuff on the podcast. We're doing truly deranged stuff. Anything else, Taylor, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I don't think so.
There hasn't been a ton. One thing about being an incredible team is like there's not a ton.
And a low drama team too. Like the biggest thing right now is the kind of the mystery around J-Dub's injury. the past after the procedure, they came out and said that, he'd be out for however long, then they'd have a follow-up. There was never any follow-up until we got the news on Halloween that he had the subsequent procedure to remove the screw that was causing irritation. 10 to 14 days. It's been like 21 now and still nothing. So
the cast was off.
Kind of weird.
Or something. There's like a cast or something he didn't have yesterday.
Well, it looked like at practice or at shoot around, he had something like had it pretty heavily taped. But pregame warmups, he was shooting with both hands and didn't have anything on, which leads me to believe he's probably ramping up and starting to play some more contact, like 4-on-4, 5-on-5 kind of stuff. They don't do that at shoot around, but that would be why he would tape it a little more. And then obviously for shoot around, he wouldn't have anything on. All that to say, I think his return's coming soon, but that's really, like you said, Silva, the one thing we're kind of keeping an eye on. And at that point, what does this team look like when you're incorporating Aaron Wiggins and J-Dub back to the lineup? You have a fully healthy team, and you have the AJ Mitchells and the Chet who continue to deserve touches and field goal attempts, and Ihart playing as well as he is, and still trying to get developmental minutes to some of these other guys. Like, how does that all look? What do the different lineups look like? It's kind of
there's still plenty of continuity to build.
Right.
It does suck for J-Dub that he's basically already ineligible for awards.
Yep.
Like I think
he literally can't miss hardly any more games.
17? I think you can miss like 17 games.
And the thing is, like, him and the Thunder both would prefer him to just be 100% come playoff time. So when you're the Thunder, you have the luxury that they do if they continue to keep this winning pace up. And, they're going to be sitting guys down the stretch, getting them ready for the playoffs. And that'll lead to J-Dub potentially not making.
Maybe it'll be SGA and Chet in the All-Star game this year, because J-Dub just missed so much time. But
that's what it looks like.
Good problems to have. You're just going to keep alternating All-Stars every year with SGA. Pretty good stuff. All right. We're going to get out of here. We will be back for our Sunday show. And hopefully that is against a semi-competitive team in the Portland Trailblazers. Get some revenge for that one loss we had on the road, Sega Baba. See how that goes. We will see you guys Sunday. Thanks for listening, as always, being part of the show in the comments on Twitter, Discord, when we ask for help on nights like tonight with the mailbag. You guys are the best. Until next time, though, thunder up and adios.